Hello, my fellow friends, and welcome back to your 7-day mental wellness journey course. I feel like I've said that a lot in the past few days because today is day 6. Day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've come, hopefully, a very long way. Maybe it doesn't feel like you've come a long way just yet, or you don't think you've made a lot of progress, but I'm winking because I am telling you, you have definitely made a lot of progress if you have come this far in this course. Even if you didn't participate fully in everything, maybe there's some worksheet pages that you might have left blank, maybe you didn't know all the answers just yet, but that is totally okay. Remember, this course is just a resource for you to use as much as you can to help yourself, and of course, you can take the course more times than once if you need. Maybe if there were some days that you really struggled getting some answers on, after we get through all the 7 days, go back and start at day 1 and do it all over again. You can do this as many times as you'd like, guys. I'd actually recommend that you do it more than once so that you can see, that helps you see your progress when you do it more than once, that you can see and feel how day 1, maybe the next time feels versus day 1 the very first time, because I guarantee it's going to feel and look a lot different for you in the future if you do decide to take it again. But in any case, today is day 6. It's our second to last day. If you can believe it, you are almost there. You are so close. We're really getting close to the very final push here. So today we're going to quote unquote make every day Thanksgiving, right? And to do this, we're going to really practice gratitude. So whether you're someone who celebrates Thanksgiving, or maybe you're someone who doesn't, especially if you don't live in the US, but any of us in anywhere where we are can appreciate the idea of Thanksgiving, because what Thanksgiving is, it's literally in the word. I mean, it's very creative. Thanksgiving. Like, it's giving thanks is what it's all about. And we can do this any day. It doesn't just have to be the holiday Thanksgiving. We can make any day our own. Make every day our own Thanksgiving. And again, to do this, we're going to practice what is called gratitude. And you may or may not have done this before in your own mental wellness journey. But whether you have or haven't, I'm going to help you through it today. And we're going to make it as simple and as painless as possible. It can be very, very difficult working with gratitude if it's, again, something you haven't done before. But I'm here to help you, and we're going to get through it, and you're going to improve yourself, hopefully, by the end of today's session. So, as always, we like to get started with a little bit of a warm-up, a little bit of a grounding session. Today is going to be quite active. So, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to do a bit of an arm exercise. It's not going to make you sweat or anything, but if you are someone who is unable to use the arms for whatever reason, I'm going to give you the option to count instead, because we're going to be doing something kind of rhythmically, if you will, and I'm going to be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in counts of 8. So if you are someone who is unable to use your arms, again, for whatever reason that may be, just go on ahead and count along with me instead, and that can be part of your grounding exercise. But like I said, we're going to do something very different, a little bit more active today, because as we get closer to the end of this course, I want you to start thinking of all the things we've talked about so far, thinking of actually putting them in action and being very, very active with these things. And again, putting them into physical actions, not just today, not just tomorrow, but like in the future of your total mental wellness journey, even outside of this course. So that's why today I want to do kind of a grounding, a little bit of an exercise that's like an actual exercise, physical exercise, if you will, that's going to get us in this mindset of being very active, okay? So what we're going to do is, you can do this either sitting or standing. Standing would actually be great. If I stand, I will literally not be on camera right now. So I'm going to do it sitting. You can also do this laying if you need to. Doesn't matter. But what we're going to do is we're going to move the arms in a way that hopefully feels really good in our bodies. And again, if you can't, you're going to count along with me, because we're going to do this in counts of 4 and counts of 8. So this is just going to be a bit of a follow along. Let's actually start by just stretching a little bit. You can bring one arm across hold on to it with the other. Just do a bit of a stretch. And again, we'll start counting these two. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can count along with me if you'd like. Kind of wiggle it out a bit. Roll the shoulders if you can. And reach the other arm across for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll those shoulders a little bit. Let's also get it a little bit more in the back. So you can either hold hands together and hold it back, or grab the elbow and bring it down. Again, just as much as you can. If you can't go very far, maybe you just hold your wrist here and just kind of do this. We're just kind of stretching the arms, the biceps, everything. And hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll the shoulders. Of course, we got to do the other one now too. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll those shoulders out. Now from here, we're actually going to get started with our actual exercise. I'm going to try not to hit anything here. So again, just follow along. We won't count just to start. I'll just show you what we're going to do, and then we'll start counting. So we're going to take, and it doesn't matter how you hold the hands, really doesn't matter for this, but we're going to take the arms in front of us like this, put a little bit of a curve in the elbows, and then from here, we're going to bring it out to either side and then down. And you can rest the hands on the floor for just a few seconds before we start again. So we're going to start with this little exercise. We'll just do a couple rounds of it in 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rest 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, rest 7, 8. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome, you guys. Now we're going to take things a little bit further, and this time we're going to bring the arms in. Then we're going to bring them all the way above the head. Again, keep a little bit of a bend in the elbows. We don't want to be, straight, because then that'll stress the shoulders. And then we're going to bring it again down to the sides, and then down, rest 7, 8. So get ready, count along with me if you'd like. And here we go. Let's go through again this part, then all the way up, and then down and down again. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's actually reverse that, and we'll go from the sides all the way up above the head, and then down, and then rest the hands. Again, we'll just do 3 rounds of this. So get ready and count along with me. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we just have one more. This is going to be a little bit more advanced. We're going to get the upper back, well, kind of the lower back too, I guess, involved a little bit more. And we're going to do this motion a couple of times. We're going to bring one arm across the body, reach from here up the opposite direction, bring it again, arms to the sides, whip this arm through. You can put this arm on the floor if you like, if you're sitting. If not, just let it hang heavy beside you. Bring it up. We're going to reach as much as you can in the opposite direction, but don't let your shoulder get pulled. Keep the shoulder back and relaxed as you do this. Again, swing it through, and we will keep doing this again for a couple of rounds. I'll count with you guys until we get complete. So let's start by going this direction, this hand this direction in 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really twist in the back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and arms out to the side. 8. Now bring the palms down. Relax the neck. Roll the shoulders a little bit. Just wiggle it out. Awesome work, you guys. Whether you realize it or not, you actually just did a little bit of ballet. These are just some simple arm techniques that I know I use in my ballet practice all the time. Absolutely love practicing and taking ballet. And whether you realize, if you didn't think you were ever a dancer or anything, you just did some dancing, believe it or not. Even just counting along with us, if you just counted along, that's really integral to any part of dance, is just counting, especially in sets of 8. So really good job, you guys. And I hope that exercise, whether you did the full-on arms or you just counted along with us, really helped you start to feel a little bit more active. Because again, today we're kind of thinking about, we're going to talk about gratitude and stuff. But again, because we're getting closer to the end of the course, I want you to kind of activate, if you will, all of these things we've been learning and start thinking about how you can actually put what you've learned into action. I also wanted to say that, doing something like dance or something very expressive is actually one way to express gratitude, whether again you realize that or not, because just like we said before in one of our previous days, that everybody is unique. We put the you in unique. Everybody is an individual and we all have unique likes and dislikes. We also each have unique ways that we express ourselves and express our gratitude. So anything that you might feel thankful for, maybe dance is a way for you to express how you feel about something, or maybe it's something else, especially something creative like painting or writing. We know a lot about those things on this channel as well. So just whatever it is, something that allows you to create and express your gratitude through some type of creation is a really, really good idea. But let's go ahead and get started with our worksheet today. So I'm going to pull up our worksheet page of today over here. For day 6, like we already said, make every day a day for Thanksgiving. So let's go ahead and get started with a little bit, kind of a mini writing prompt here. Let's try to write a definition in your own words, so each of us are your own individual words, of the term gratitude. So when you think of this word gratitude, what immediately comes to mind? How would you describe it in words? Now, like we said, everybody's different. Everybody's going to have a unique answer to this. Don't just try to cheat and Google it, right? Google, what's the definition of gratitude? Hey Siri, right? Like, try not to do that. Try to do this with just thinking in your own words, because that's really going to help you, cognitively come up with your own answer. That's really going to help not just your mental health, but your brain health a little bit here too. So go on ahead and do that. Write your answer, and I will write an answer for myself as well. Okay, hopefully you guys are coming up with some good ones for this one. I know it's tricky. I don't even know if my definition is really encompassing like all that gratitude really is. It's really hard to put it into words, right? But if you're having a little bit of writer's block with this, here's what I wrote. Gratitude, noun, definition, the feeling of being thankful, which thankful is kind of a synonym for gratitude, so I feel like I might have cheated a little bit there, but so then I also put, or a full feeling of happiness for a particular item, place, person, or other subject. So again, this is just my personal interpretation of gratitude. Your interpretation and what you wrote may be completely different. So go on ahead and share that in the comments if you would like for that. But don't like get too hung up on this and being like, I can't think of the very perfect definition. Your definition doesn't have to be perfect. I look at mine and I feel like it's not completely perfect. Like I feel like there's something else I could add to it, but I just can't really put my finger on what it is. But as long as you can say good enough, you know, we're just workshopping here. So just a general way that you would personally describe what gratitude is. Okay, so now we're going to go on ahead and create a list of items you are thankful for. Think of people, places, and things, right? Noun, person, place, or thing, right? Always person, place, or thing. Think of all of those things, though. The people, the places, and the things. And remember, too, that every item, even the simplest thing, counts here. And this is, again, one of those things where we actually have 10 items here instead of, you know, just 5 or 3 or something. So we actually have a lot to fill out. But this is where, you guys, I really want you to challenge yourself and really, really challenge yourself to fill out each one of these little bubbles. So take as much time as you need to do this. Pause if you need to. I'm going to fill these out as well. And remember, the simplest things, you guys, very, very simple things can and do count. And I think you'll find that the more, if you just dive in and start writing a couple of things, more things are going to come to you quite easily. I think you'll find it's easier as we go on writing this, and you may even come up with more than 10. I mean, I don't know. So go on ahead and come up with a couple of things to write here. I'm going to come up with mine as well. Okay, I have 5 things. If you don't have quite 5 yet, don't panic. You have plenty of time. Again, pause if you need to. I'm going to fill out my other 5 now. Okay, you can take another moment if you need. If not, we can reconvene now. I hope that writing your list was not as difficult as you thought it was going to be. I hope it went very smoothly for you. If not, remember, you can always pause and take more time to fill it out, take as much time as you need. Or maybe you come back and fill it out later. Don't feel pressured to fill it all out right now. The challenge is that I want you to fill out every single item on the list, all 10 things. But if you don't get them done right away, that's okay too. Know that you can always come back later and finish it. We've got plenty of time, no rush, right? So again, the items that I put are probably going to differ from the items you put. If you feel comfortable sharing your items, maybe you do share them in a comment below. I'll just go through a couple of my things too, because maybe there's one that you think, oh, that gives me an idea, or oh, I could put that too, if you need to fill out some more items. So in no particular order, just the order that I came up with. My first thing was, of course, ballet classes, because like I said, we did our little bit of dance ballet exercise without you even maybe knowing that that's what it was. I absolutely love taking ballet, so that is one of my top things. Well, these are all my top things, like I said, no particular order. Also my kitty and my puppy. You guys know my kitty Mia and my puppy Ellie. Cute little gals, good buddies, good old chums there. My closest group of friends, I'm very thankful for the friends that I have, and I'm very grateful for them every day, so I added that to my gratitude list. And maybe also, like, as I'm going back and like reading off each of these items, each time I read one, I feel it within myself, that I feel that sense of gratitude every time I read that item out loud. So maybe that's a good idea right now as I'm reading mine. If you want to read yours back to yourself as well, either in your head or out loud, and each one you can like pause and take a moment to really feel that gratitude for that particular item. I also put having a place to call home, because like I said, it's the simplest things, you guys, that kind of count the most. And it might sound really simple, just having a place to call home, but I'm very, very grateful for that. And it's something that it's like, you don't want to forget or, take things for granted. And that's definitely one of those things for me. This is one that might sound kind of silly, but I said access to the internet, and specifically access to the internet at home. Because you guys, listen, here's something that might make you laugh a little bit. I'm going to tell you something that's probably going to blow your mind, especially when you look at me and I'm not that old, or at least I don't think I'm that old. When I was growing up, we had dial-up internet. We had dial-up internet until I was like 13 or 14 years old. I'm not joking. And like I said, I'm not that old. I'm under 30. But the area that I lived in and still live in is very, very rural. Rural, I can't even say the word. Very rural, very, very country is what we call it. But we did not have access to like high-speed internet ever until I was 13 or 14. And even then, it's not the best. Like even today, our internet access, it's gotten a little bit better, but it's not great. And I think that's something that I'm really thankful for, having the access that I do have. But I think we also need to remember that, there's some places where, you don't have access, readily access to the internet, either at home or even in like public spaces like free Wi-Fi and stuff. And of course, having access to the internet, for some people, it might not be a big deal, like if you were Amish. Which part of the issue with maybe we didn't get very good internet access here and still don't is because we do have a lot of Amish neighbors, but a different story. Aside from that fact, I think it's one of those things that a lot of us do take for granted. And that's something that I said from the day that we gave up dial-up internet around here, that I said, I'm never going to take that for granted. Hearing that sound every day when you want to just check your email, the sound. If you are someone who has been around a little while, maybe maybe you can relate. If you're a little bit younger, then maybe you might not. But in either case, I think having access to the internet, just in general, whether it's at home or in a public space, is something we really shouldn't take for granted, because sure, we might think of a lot of times people are like, oh, the internet is causing a lot of issues today and stuff. And on the one hand, that probably is true, but I think it's more good than anything. Because if anything, it's how you're accessing this course, this class, this session, all of these free mental health resources I'm giving you. That's how you're accessing them right now. And again, maybe that sounds like a little bit of a silly item, but it's something I definitely wanted to expand and just give you a little bit of insight, backstory, maybe make you laugh a little bit. Like, girls say, what now? You have what? Back in 2010, yes, I still had dial-up internet, and that was my only way to access the internet. And it was like trying to do anything for schoolwork on the internet at home was like, took hours. So maybe I should say access to high-speed internet, not dial-up internet, because oh my gosh, never want to go back to those days. Anyway, moving on, some other items I have on my list. Again, sometimes it's the simplest things. My car, I am very grateful to have a mode of transportation. I know that, not everybody has that, and that's totally okay. And I will say, do I have the absolute best vehicle in the world? Absolutely not, but I'm so grateful for what I do have. And that's part of gratitude to you guys. I think sometimes we get kind of hung up on like, I wish I could have that. But practicing gratitude, it's again another mindset shift for us. We love our mindset shifts in this course, and that's another one of them, is instead of focusing on like what you wish you had, what you really want to have, is stepping back and saying, well, what do I actually have though right now? And being satisfied and, grateful for those things, I think can really, really help your mental state overall. Some other things I put, because I thought of my car, and then I thought of my doctor, because, I really like my doctor, and she's very useful and very helpful to me, and I'm very grateful to have her. Another thing, again, these are all quite personal to me, so your list might be very different than this, but maybe you have some that are the same. I also said time with my grandma, with my lovely grandma that I love so much, because she just turned 94 this year, and I kind of like to look at it like every day that I get to spend with her. Like, I'm very, very grateful for that, because she is the only living grandparent I still have left. And I know at 94, she won't be around forever. And I know that it's really hard to talk about and stuff in that kind of a sense, but I just want to be very grateful with myself for every day that I do have with her now. So again, yeah, that's kind of a personal one too, but it's something I'm very grateful for, something I like to practice gratitude towards. Another one, a little bit off the beaten trail maybe, nature trails, because I was trying to think of more. I was like, I've got the people, I've got the things, let's think of some places. Nature trails. I think we could all be grateful for nature trails actually, or just nature in general. It's such a beautiful thing to just sit out and be at peace in nature, and I think it's really helpful for your mental wellness, no matter who you are, where you are. Studies have shown that being out in nature is really useful for us, so I'm grateful to have like nature trails that like I can go on walks like with my dog, or go on a bike ride or something, or just go out and like sit on a bench by a trail. Really grateful for that. Again, a really simple one, but really grateful for that. And then I had to throw in like another, I guess this one felt kind of silly, but this one probably is really silly, mushroom hunting. You guys, I am like fully trained from the time I was like 3 years old. It was a family tradition, and still is, for our like extended family on my dad's side to go mushroom hunting in Michigan every single year. And by mushroom hunting, we only go for morel mushrooms. Morel mushrooms, if you don't know what they are, you should. Go on ahead and look them up. They're very, very valuable because you can only find them during a couple of weeks, or a month or two every spring, usually around May around here. And so what we do is we take our bags. There's very special bags you have to use. We use the old-fashioned because they don't really make them like this anymore. The like mesh potato bags. We take those out in the woods, and we go and we pick these morel mushrooms and we put them in the bags. And then when you bring them back, there's a couple different recipes, I think, of how to cook them. You do have to cook them before you eat them. Do not eat them raw. You'll probably suffer greatly. Your intestines will not be happy with that. But we usually cut them in half. You have to soak them overnight just to make sure you get all the bugs and the dirt out and stuff. Soak them in salt water. That'll kill the bugs. And then the next day, we usually take them out. We shake them in flour, and then we put them in a pan with butter and fry them up. and they're so good. It's so great. Anyway, I'm grateful for that. I'm just grateful that that's a thing, right? I'm grateful that that's a thing. Okay, I think we've talked about our lists long enough, especially my list. Again, I would love to hear whatever you guys put on your list, so leave a comment below for that. Okay, now our final exercise on this worksheet. How do you like to show your gratitude? Again, this is very personal to each person. It's going to be very individual, very individualistic. Think of some ways you have showed your thankfulness in the past, and then think of some new ways you can show it in the future too. So this one's going to take quite a bit of thought, I think, quite a lot of thinking on your part. So let's start off. We will all do this together. I usually show gratitude by ... So really think about this, and maybe you're like, I don't at all, and that's okay too. You could totally write that here. But really think about this. How do you usually show your gratitude? And again, it could be something very simple. It could just be, I acknowledge whatever the thing is that I'm grateful for. I just acknowledge it to myself. Or maybe if you are like a spiritual person or something, I feel like a lot of people might like pray about things that they're grateful for or something like that. Or maybe even like meditate on those things to really put a lot of thought process into it. But whatever that might look like for you, and again, it might look like you're like, I don't do anything special, then write that here. That's totally okay. So I'm going to go ahead and write for myself. Okay, so I'll tell you what I wrote for this if you need, some ideas, although not really ideas for now, maybe for your future answer when we do that in a second, because whatever you usually do now probably won't be the same as mine. I say that I usually show gratitude by writing a list of my gratitude items, just like similar to how we did up here, on my phone and reading over them before bed when I feel like I need to. I don't do it every single night. I don't write in it every single night. I don't read it every single night, but usually pretty relaxed about it. I just write things down, maybe as they come to me, or maybe when I'm having a rough time, I try to think, okay, what's something I can be grateful for right now, and add that to my list. Or before bed, if I'm having like kind of an off night or something, that's when I think the best time is, at least for me, to go back and like read over just a couple of items on my list. And if this is like, you're like, oh, that sounds like a really good idea, then that's something that you could put in this next section of, I want to show gratitude in the future by. So now's where we get to kind of brainstorm a little bit and think, well, what could I do in the future that I don't already do now? Or maybe that I build onto what I do now. So again, take a moment to go on ahead and write there, and I will come up with something as well. Okay, so let's reconvene. What did you put, right? What did you come up with for this answer? This is another one that maybe you want to share in the comments below if you feel comfortable, so that some of us can also get some ideas here if we're kind of stuck on how to answer this. But I'll tell you what I tried to really come up with something creative that I was trying to think, well, what could I do that you guys might also want to do as well, so that you could kind of peek at my answer. So I started off by saying, telling the people I am thankful for that I am grateful for them, because that is something that I thought I could do that. You know, that's a doable thing. And then I tried to think further because I was going to end it there. And I was like, well, I could take it a little bit further because I know you guys would probably want a couple more ideas. So I thought trying a bit of meditation over my gratitude list. I was thinking, well, like, what if and you guys could do this as well. What if we like took some time doesn't have to be every single night, like I said. It can be just whenever you kind of need it, to look at a gratitude list that we've made before and to kind of like sit with it and just like meditate on it. Like, why not? Like, again, that's a pretty doable thing that I think any of us could do. So in any case, whatever you put for that answer, that is all for our worksheet page today. Now, what we're going to do is actually don't put your worksheet page away yet because we're going to use and need this list. And don't worry, we're not going to do a meditation or anything right now, but what you're going to need or want to do is get out a piece of paper. I got my notebook here and a pencil or pen, just something to write with. And what we're actually going to do is, first of all, I'm going to rip out this page just to get started with. You don't need your writing utensil yet. What we're actually going to do is take your paper. I'm using just regular notebook paper, any size sheet of paper, anything you want, as long as it's blank, you know, is we're going to take this paper and we're going to rip it. Not like shred it. The key to this, you guys, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be easier if you make your tears larger rather than smaller. So this is good for getting out your frustrations too if you're feeling a little frustrated. Rip them into like pieces like this. And we're going to save these pieces for a second. So again, it's going to actually be easier if you make your pieces bigger rather than smaller. Like, this is a pretty good size piece. Don't want to make them too small because you'll find out why in a second. But just going ahead and rip up your page into a couple of like bite-sized pieces. Not super bite-sized, but again, the bigger you make them, a little bit easier it's going to be. Doesn't matter how many pieces you do. You can always make them smaller, but you can't make them bigger. So that's why I'm saying keep them as big as you can for now. Just like that. And actually, this one I could probably rip in half as well. Okay, now with all of these pieces of paper that we just shredded up, now this is where I'm going to need this because I need something to write on. Now we're going to go back, and this is why I said don't put away your list yet. Let's go back to our gratitude list that we wrote down. And now every single item that you put on your gratitude list, we're going to write it on a piece of paper, okay? So go on ahead, and this is where the break of the brain comes in, because hopefully you wrote enough things to fill out all of your pieces of paper. This is why I said if you make them bigger, it's going to be easier. If you make them smaller, it's going to be more difficult because the smaller the pages, the more you have to fill. So just like it was a challenge for us to fill out all 10 items, I want you to fill out all the sheets of paper that you ripped up. And you might have ripped up more than 10, which is where you might have to come up with some extra things. But just take a few minutes to do this. Just write on each of your pieces of paper the things that you wrote on your list. And then just like that, you can go on ahead and set them aside for now. And again, this is going to take a couple of moments. Just go through, write down each of your things on here. And maybe you kind of like shorten the things that you wrote on there. Like if you wrote something really lengthy and you just want to kind of simplify it on here, that's okay too. If you just want to simplify it to a 1 or 2 word answer. Or maybe you want to reword things a little bit. You know, maybe if you think, oh, I could say that a different way, or you're like, or I could add on to that, or I could change it a little bit. Anything you want to do. But again, aiming to fill out all of your pieces of paper that you ripped. And if you want to rip them even more and make more things to fill out, go for it. But hopefully you see why I said don't make them too small. Don't make too much work for yourself. But you can if you feel like it. And I'm actually going to rip this one in half because I ripped up 9 sheets of paper. So I'm going to make it an even 10 for myself here. And again, this might take a few minutes. You might take longer than I took. Now with all these sheets of paper, you are totally free to do whatever you want to do with these sheets of paper. If you don't want to keep them, that's fine. But my idea for this thing is what I'm going to do with my pieces of paper is I'm going to keep them in a jar. And I'm going to call this my gratitude jar. So you can like fold these up, maybe crumple them if you want or something, and like drop them in your jar. The idea is to fill the jar as best you can. I know these pieces of paper, maybe they're kind of big, so they might actually fill the jar on their own. But you may not fill your jar completely today. Or if you don't have a jar, maybe you find like, I don't know, like an old, like a cup or a glass or just something, some type of container that you can fill. Maybe a box, a shoe box or something. But just do what you can to add these little pieces of paper in here. We're going to fill our jar with these things that we're grateful for. This is such a fun activity, you guys. I'm so glad I came up with this one. Filling it up. Just about to the brim. Just like that. And you can see my jar is actually pretty full, but this is kind of a small jar. It's a pint size, so maybe your container is a little bit bigger. Maybe you use like a shoe box or something. That'd be a good one. But just like that, you guys, we have a gratitude jar. If you've never made a jar of gratitude before, welcome to the club. You just joined us. So actually, that is all for our brain break, and that is all for our session today. I hope you guys really enjoyed our day 6 Make Everyday Thanksgiving session today. I hope you really like your gratitude jar. You can like display this wherever you want, like in your room or your office or just anywhere you'd like. Maybe you like add a little label that's like my gratitude jar, and you can add to this jar anytime you'd like. You can add to it. The idea is to make it absolutely as full as possible, because the more full the jar is, the more, you know, full that maybe we will feel as a result, looking at it, thinking of, oh, these are all the things I have to be grateful for. And I think that will just like fill your heart and like make you feel kind of happy about it, right? So again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this session today. And I'm going to see you guys all tomorrow or the next day or whenever you get around to do day 7, our final day of the course. So as always, I will be so looking forward to seeing you there. And hopefully we're going to go out with a bit of a bang. I like to say we're going to go out with a bit of a bang. So definitely don't skip it. Definitely come back. And I will see you all then, my friends.